Hello, everyone. Greeting from Yangon, Myanmar. Today, I'm going to talk about Myitsone Dam campaign and concern over Chinese investment, which is intensifying even under the pandemic situation in Myanmar. I'm going to talk about these two related issues. Uh, First, I will talk about Myitsone Dam campaign. Uh, for those who did not know, that campaign is that the Myitsone Dam and related issue. Myitsone is a crucial watershed area of Irrawaddy River, where Chinese investment plan to build a mega dam in that crucial watershed area. So the people of Myanmar protest against that, even under the military regime, and that suspended in 2011. So from 2011 up until now, almost a decade, that stays suspended. So this is kind of a rare success of civil society in Myanmar, and I guess environmental movement globally. So I will talk first about that Myitsone and why that's significant. And the Myitsone, of course, is a Chinese investment and other Chinese investment inside the country that we worry about for their negative impact. So I will try to discuss that investment issue in second part of my presentation. So first about Myitsone. Uh, when we talk about Myitsone, we are talking about the crucial main river of Myanmar. This is a crucial waterway, and that this is a lifeblood of our country. That is Irrawaddy River. Myitsone, it literally is a confluence. Two river from the north, which go all the way to Himalaya. Uh, these two river come together and form a Irrawaddy River in northern part of Myanmar. So this is the birthplace of a river, and a river is a birthplace of a civilization. So that much significant for us on this river. So, but I am not only talking about, when I talk about Myitsone, when I talk about Irrawaddy River, I'm not only talking about the nationally important river. This is the globally important river because this is one of the last free flowing rivers globally. Fortunately, not only Irrawaddy, we also got Selwyn River, and both Selwyn and Irrawaddy River, they both are designated as a free flowing river, quite rare in the current situation globally. So this is globally important, globally valuable rivers of Myanmar. So for us, because it's nationally important, and also this is kind of national pride as a important ecological feature as a free flowing river. That's why we are so passionate to defend these free-flowing rivers exist in Myanmar. So not only Irrawaddy, but also Selwyn, and also another main tributaries to Irrawaddy River is Chendrin. You will see a map on the right, and all these dark blue river that are flowing across Myanmar. So this is our ecological heritage. This is what we value very much. So when we hear about Myitsone in around the around 2000 the 2000 2008 9, we are restless because we cannot let that loss in for short term in the ecological benefit. We want to maintain that for generations. So that's why we are kind of, many people in our country can identify with that river. Many people in one way or another support this campaign because this is nationally significant. And they another and also, but this is a picture of that two river confluence. You will see the picture, the two river coming together, and then that the single river stretch. That's Irrawaddy. So I'm trying to show that this area, because from that point up to the foothill of Himalaya, this is what they call nationally important, regionally significant, and globally outstanding area. This is an area that huge the amount of biodiversity intact exists, and also that's the intact forest state there. And again, this is a crucial watershed area for the Irrawaddy River. So this is our struggle to protect river. To protect river, but you need to protect watershed. So our struggle is not only to protest against one big dam, but also to preserve that critical watershed area, because critical watershed area also under threat that I will show you in this picture. So what we talk about Myitsone is that the confluence area, but the initial plan is to build a cascade of dam, in the that's two river area, two river, what we call in Myanmar two river triangle area. So there's several dams along these two rivers in very important watershed area of Irrawaddy. So if they move ahead, and if they build them, one river will be river on the right will be totally under control of the flood control, the flow control regime of all these cascade of dams, and river in the left, that will be kind of half of the river area will be under control of that cascade of another cascade of dams. So uh, in total, this is huge. The several big dams to build, and it's a large scale, and it's going to have a huge impact, devastating impact to the river and the community downstream, and also people living in upstream, because in the up there's the indigenous people, local people are living there, and their livelihood, their community, uh, their kind of ecology world. That's right. So as I said, that's Myitsone Dam campaign suspended all these projects for now, but we're hearing that just recently they are pushing uh, to restart some dams up north. They were leave alone Myitsone for a time being, but they will build. They are trying to build some dam up north. So that's also these new came just recently, and we are very much concerned about all these new, and we are carefully looking at the situation. So so that's so what the Myitsone Dam campaign is. We are, I mean, we started under very difficult circumstance back then. The military regime in our country, and very little space, but using art and kind of try to expand public kind of space for the people to engage. We somehow mobilize the the people, and many people kind of participate and support in one way or another. So this is a kind of as I said before, quite a milestone in the civil society movement in our country. But again, this is not stopped yet. These projects, these are suspended. So now in almost one decade, we are trying mobilizing, raising awareness about all these stuff in several different ways. So after Myitsone Dam suspension, relation with China and Myanmar a little bit the kind of a little bit cool down, and so the Chinese investment the kind of a little bit reduced in all these years. So geopolitically, Myanmar moved a little bit closer to Western community, and Chinese seems that they kind of they try to look the situation. And they wait for the opportunity. So that what we feel uh, uh, they after what we see and what the data indicate that they try not to push hard they in terms of investment in our country. Uh, but as many of you know, after Myitsone, after some sort of power balancing between China and Western power, we got all these crises, Rohingya crisis in Rakhine State. There's again a huge violence happened, and thousands and thousands of people displaced. So when that happened, then the Myanmar relation with Western country uh, became a little bit problematic. So that where Chinese came in again, and the Chinese support Myanmar from Western pressure, and can Myanmar in time try to give many of kind of concession and business concession to China. So after Myitsone, there's some sort of a little bit slow down in investment from China. But after that tragedy in Rakhine State, then the investment came in again in a big way. So this time, Chinese investment came under the name of BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, and also in the name of CMEC, China Myanmar Economic the Corridor. But the China Myanmar economic corridor, many business kind of plan are already on the table for a long time. All these extraction, all these kind of access to Indian Ocean, and all these plans are already there for many years. Some implemented, some not yet. But when that BRI came into the picture, everything being labeled as BRI, everything labeled as CMEC, China Myanmar Economic Corridor Initiative. So all these old content, hydro, including hydro and coal and other extraction and other kind of project that with access to Indian Ocean are repackaged again as a BRI. So this is huge initiative, $1 billion initiative that if that finish, it will integrate China, Myanmar very closely to all these, even to, according to their plan, even to the kind of eastern seaboard. So, but again, we as an environmentalist, we as an activists, always ask who's benefit, who will lose out. What about the ordinary people? What about the people on the street? So these are the questions that we are asking, and we worry a lot about these line in the map, because these line in the map have huge implication for the people on the ground, especially that ethnic people in many peripheral area of Myanmar. So again, this is to show that that pipeline from Rakhine State, that's Indian Ocean, that's go from Rakhine State all the way to China, crossing Myanmar, the gas and oil pipeline. And currently, they are pushing to have a kind of road link from China side to Mandalay and Naypyi Road to the Chaopyu. So gas from these Rakhine State, one of the poorest region in Myanmar, and you will read about all that conflict recently happening, all the violence that happening in that Rakhine State. The gas from these area are are more and more penetrate to Chinese western part of the China. So the communities there and all these uh, people in Chinese society more and more depend on the gas from Myanmar, and also more and more investment came into the area, into to China side and to Myanmar side, kind of the petroleum refinery in Kumin area and all this investment. What I'm trying to say is uh, these are billion-dollar projects. So when you invest a lot of money, you also need to worry about security. So you will follow up with plan how to secure all these infrastructure and how to secure all these investments. And so we, as a very conflict-prone country, ongoing kind of the longest civil war globally, we are very much worried about these sort of the impact on the conflicts, followed by investment, followed by plan to secure these investment. Because again, as I said, all these violence, most violent conflict are happening right now in Rakhine State, and there's a lot of powerful player in that area, including Chinese. Including from the Chinese side. Uh, but for the local people, not only being the poorest in the country, but also one of the most I may say the kind of the the unsettling area that the uh, the people in the area suffered a lot. So this is the business implication to uh, peace. I'm trying to highlight here, because when China talk about the non-intervention, this is not true. Just a myth, because when you invest a lot and when you follow up with plan to secure your investment, you are intervening. You are intervening one way or another. So in Myanmar, in many of these resource-rich ethnic area, there's a military, there's a ethnic armed group, there's a militia, there's a local business elite, there's a Chinese business, and also Chinese business. So all these kind of players complicated the, the, the conflict. So, and again, here what I try to highlight is when we talk about the peace, and Chinese try to talk like BRI will bring peace, but BRI is a commercial primarily commercial project and commercial objective. So when what we are seeing is all these commercial kind of imperative commercial objective that detrimental to peace initiative, peace imperative. But the Chinese rule so far is in their effort to secure their commercial interests, they are exacerbating conflict in Myanmar. So this is what we worry so much in our current situation. So there's a 5 pillar that Chinese kind of announced in for their BRI project. That there's a lot of caution that we have regard to these 5 pillars, like for example, kind of the the facilitate connectivity. But the to facilitate the two, okay, we facilitate connectivity, but these connectivity and these connections start for who is interest, who going to lose out in these kind of arrangement. And also that the when we talk about ethnic people, it is about their gacha, it is about their way of life, it is about their community. We cannot uh, we cannot damage all these in the name of commercial interests. Again, the interest for whom is the big question in our situation. So, and then we also got a kind of worry about the the climate change, because in our country it is very obvious and everywhere that we are suffering a lot from climate change. There's a drought, there's a flood, there's a water shortage issue. So all these kind of plan now on table with another name of BRI and CMEC, China Myanmar Economic Corridor. It's the it almost certain that many will uh, damage the assets of local people to cope in the climate change. In other words, it would destroy resiliency of local community. So that's what we worry in the context of climate change, and also we worry about the because we are now in pandemic, and just recently the kind of rising case in Myanmar and higher death toll, and we worry about that's Federalist farming moving from Chinese side to Myanmar. So this also got huge implication as we understand, because that Federalist farming is one way that brew kind of the kind of the dangerous virus, and quite uh, worrying if these uh, uh, the, uh, these are much of these plan are go ahead, which already moving ahead in our country. Another things that are related to Thailand is there's a because and the Thailand and Myanmar share border in many areas at current state. In current state to Chinese, in current state in Thailand and Myanmar border, there's a lot of kind of shady business deal came into that current state, which is a border between uh, the, the border area of Myanmar and Thailand. So the plan is because as we many of us know about all these tragedy in Sihanoukville in Cambodia. Many of the gambling and other business want to move to that area due to the current state between Thailand and Myanmar. So this, and also the criminal gangs and people with criminal record involved in all these plans. One of the most infamous is Trikoku project in Myawaddy area. So these going to have a huge implication in to not only to Myanmar but also to Thailand, and we also need to look at very carefully to all these investment came in into Thailand Myanmar border in current state. So then just briefly about our political situation, our political leadership to handle all these situation. There's not so much good news in that aspect, because in our own opinion, the transition pretty much stalled. All the elite are in place, or both elected leaders and military leader, they need Chinese backing to hold on to power. So this is sad news for us. That the political leadership that we look forward so much are not in any shape or form to 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 improve the situation of ordinary people. Having said that, this is my last slide. We got a strong civil society in Myanmar. Our people are that civil society and people are in struggle for many decades now, and even now in many areas, all the civil society movement, big or small, going on, and these that's uh, we can expect that all the less fields we got power of people, uh, we got uh, we got social movement, we got ordinary people initiative to protect uh, our rivers, our natural environments, our livelihood, our culture, uh, and then to preserve heritage for the future generation. So that's I will stop the the I will stop here, and thanks for listening, and then later on I will try to answer your question. Thanks.